Coach, obviously Western Michigan coming to town, another NCHC series. How important is this one?
Very much important. Obviously, NCHC competition, very needed points within our league, but also it's the last series before the Christmas break, so it magnifies. So like I said, have to make sure that we prepare the right way, and our guys are ready for it. And we've got a very good team coming in here that's had a very good first half.
What have you seen from the Broncos so far?
You know what? They have some big bodies up front. They skate extremely well. They provide a lot of offense off the rush. Obviously they're well coached with Andy Murray having a lot of experience, and they built that group through the last 2 or 3 years to where they are now. They hardly lost anybody last year as far as seniors, so their group was together for over the last couple of years here, and again that group has grown, and they play with team speed.
You mentioned it earlier, but I mean last series before the break, is this kind of like a momentum thing that you guys can kind of get going in and getting a good break?
Yeah, you know what? It's one of those things where we talked about to our guys that we had 4 practices and 2 games in our last week, that we have to concentrate everything into those practices and into those 2 games, and then we take a break for a while and get after the second half. But you always want to leave on a positive note, and you want to make sure that you leave everything on the ice in that last series. And again, we're at home in the Ralph, and we know that.
Western's always been tough to play against for the last several years. What's gotten them over the hump into the mix this year? They're obviously improved.
Well, I think their power play has been a lot better than it has been in the past. They've been very effective and efficient on their power play. They've added to some offensive weapons into their lineup. You have Ike Capelli, you have Molino, you have players like that not only can shoot the puck and create offense, but they have really good team speed coming through the neutral zone. So again, they were always a good defending team, but now they have some finish and some guys that can provide offense, and that's through their team speed.
You guys have a few Scandinavian guys on your team this year, and what's changed maybe about recruiting Europeans in college hockey compared to 20 years ago? There weren't a whole lot of them, or 10 years ago even.
Well, I think basically it's the Europeans that come over and play junior hockey over here. That's increased. When you go into the USHL or the other junior hockey leagues, there's an influx of Europeans that are coming over to play here. So automatically the exposure becomes greater for colleges to see them. There are colleges that go over to Europe, or they have contacts over there to pick out a player or two. But for the most part, I think when players come over here and you have a chance to see them on a consistent basis play the North American game, that's why you see a lot more Europeans over here. And again, I think you'll see even more in the future.
What did you like about Joel when you guys recruited him?
Very smart player. Obviously, when you look at players, you want to see how they play with and without the puck. He was very smart with and without the puck. His compete level was high. He was a very dependable player, and he wasn't high risk. He had good offensive instincts, but he was very good defensively, always on the right side of puck. So when you see a player play that way, it's you put trust with a coach, and again, you have to have those players in your lineup in order to succeed.
How about Hoff?
Very similar player. He could play center or wing. He has a very accurate hard shot. He at the junior level, he provided a lot of offense, and that's what we look for him too in the future. After obviously his first year coming in here, learning a few different things, but he's got a shot first mentality that can create offense, and is very good defensively too.
They maybe don't seem like your stereotypical European type players, or they're more finesse players.
Yeah, you know what? And again, I think that goes to the fact that they played in the USHL. The USHL is a tough league, as far as to provide to get offense or create offense. That you have to play the right way, and you have to check. And not only just be top end offensive, and you got to be reliable. And they played a couple of years. They each played a couple of years in the league, and that provided the basis of information for teams to recruit those players, because their body of work was very good in the USHL.
How's Hayden Shaw's his status for the weekend?
Yeah, he's getting better every day here. Obviously, it's the last weekend, and we're going to make an evaluation to see if he'll be available this weekend. But he's been progressing here, and we'll keep going forward. But again, like at the end of the day, it's making sure that it's the right time for him to come back in the lineup.
And same for Brock.
Same for Brock. Yeah.
Anything else, guys? Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
Thanks, Coach.